In the very first word where it says empath, and everyone was kind of talking about this, like instead of coming directly at it with the key term empath, especially in a headline like this, we talk about like this information, this just information, like when we had the, tomb in Egypt, there's like this journal discovered in Egypt by Mark, a kite surfer in California or whoever. Like this stuff doesn't feel like it's relating and building towards a central narrative. So the word empath, I understand why you selected it because it's relevant, but the reader doesn't know that. So that's the thing. As a copywriter, you have this fantastic opportunity to sort of build. It's what the mainstream media does. You have this opportunity to create the reality. And so what reality are we trying to work towards here? So the thing that I wrote down in my comment was you might consider using a more adjacent term. Now I'm starting to ramble too. I feel like I'm just saying the same shit over. But what I'm trying to bring it full circle is point out that oftentimes I'm noticing in copy from back in the day up till now is there are these sorts of data points of specificity that they're just like, oh, here's something specific. It should go in there. And because this is specific, it should go in there. But we're not thinking holistically about the very specific narrative and emotional impact that we want the reader to feel instead of just describing all the facts. When you're learning to research, I think one of the classic sorts of challenges that you're going to have to deal with is the kill your darlings, as Stephen King says in his memoir. And the other thing is like getting down to like that sort of necessary conditions sort of language, like, and also comes back to like selecting the narrative that you want to tell. So I was kind of saying that earlier, but now we have a new context I can give you. So when we were doing Trump bonus checks, me and Rob Braddock in 2018, that was it was my second or third project or something like that. I think it was my third. And that was one that I had to really, 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 really hone in on that idea of what narrative are we crafting. And this is where we kind of come up with like the unique promise, the force of nature, the big idea. Avaldo would call it, what's he call it? The one
belief.
The one belief. At that point, you have to become like a masochist of deletion. So I said earlier in this call, like you have to know what narrative you're going to craft. Well, we're talking about theme. We're talking about one belief. And when you do the research, what you're looking for in all of that is how much of this stuff gels, like how much of this stuff supports a overall narrative, an overall one belief. So in Trump bonus checks, it was Trump did a thing and now you get paid. And so we had all this cool stuff from the conservative pundits, and we had all these like people out there who were, it was a weird time now that I look back on it. Like just, there was just so much anger and raving and media personalities going nuts, but we had to delete a lot of that. We had to remove it because while sure, it kind of was like a part of the culture of that time and it seemed relevant, at the end of the day, if Bill O'Reilly like goes nuts talking about what liberal Democrats are doing or whatever, does that actually support that Trump did a thing? Is that evidence that Trump did something? Or is it evidence that it will cause you to get paid? And so no matter how cool, like we had like, these like 30-second clips on YouTube of like just this insane sort of statistic or something that was really interesting to us as writers while we were doing our research. When we came across it, we thought, I didn't know that. That's crazy. And almost feel like you got to tell people about this. But then we had to, again, get to the point of, well, our narrative is Trump did a thing and now you get paid. So if it doesn't fit that one belief, you've got to cut it. And so I think that's where you're at now. Like,
yeah,
what is the, and this isn't a microcosm, in an email, you've got like 100 words to craft a whole narrative that leads to some sort of compelling benefit. But it sounds like that's the thing that you're struggling with now, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because as you progress, you're just going to hit new hurdles. Like you don't stop hitting hurdles. There's always some new one around the corner. So it's a good sign, I would say. It's a good sign because it means you've adopted researching. You've adopted the habit of researching. And whenever you do that now, now you've got to hone that skill and do it better. So it's a promising indicator that you're over researching or that you're struggling with the research process, because that does show that you are in fact doing research. So it just like every part of this craft is a skill you'll build with time, but it's one of those things I want to encourage you, like, it's just part of the never ending grind that you and I and everyone on this call will always have to go through, What's up, Copy Squad? I hope you found that useful, and if you'd like to actually join our private conversations in full and get some of this actionable advice for your copy or business, I invite you to check out copysquad.net/join. Here you can sign up for our highest, most exclusive level group, the Copy Squad Inner Circle. Every week we alternate between two types of live meetings to keep our conversation fresh around copy and continually grow our skills together. So one week we take member submissions and questions and we go over user copy, and then the next week we'll do sales letter breakdowns of top tier 7- and 8-figure sales letters by some of the best copywriters and businesses in the game. So that rotates every week. One week we take submissions, the next week we do a sales letter breakdown. These calls are attended by myself, my current writing team, and even some of my previous writers are also regulars on these calls. So there's top tier talent attending all of these calls. We also have a brand new Slack channel for members to share ideas, their copy, experiences, insights, and keep up with our program announcements. So all you got to do is go to this page, copysquad.net/join. Choose whether you want a yearly or monthly membership, and then you can have access to one of the highest performing, most elite copy groups on the planet. Thanks so much for tuning in, and peace out, Copy Squad.